your new Cruiserweight champion, Rey Mysterio. We start the show with a dramatic recap of last week's main event, where Mysterio defeated Matt Hardy for the Cruiserweight title in a nail-biter of a contest. Duh, look at him celebrate with Dirty Dom. Matt blames his MFs for the loss last week and informs them he'd prefer not to have them at ringside. Breaking news, we learned that unlike Rey Mysterio, Matt is too handsome to wear a mask. Matt misses some punches, Rey misses a 619. I'm not sure who got the worst of this bulldog, Matt Hardy or Rey Mysterio's ass. The story here is Rey injured his groin winning the title last week, so he spends a lot of time in this match holding his penis. 619, West Coast pop, but a kick out. Hell yeah, version 1. Nice slam, but a kick out. Matt goes for a twist of fate, and I love this counter. He goes up top, hits a admittedly crappy Hurricane Rana off the turnbuckle, and gets the pin. Some guy in the crowd predicts Broken Matt over a decade early. This was a fun match to start things off. It reminded me of how WCW used to start most of their pay-per-views with a fast-paced cruiserweight match to get the crowd going. Alright, it's Los Guerreros making their way to... Why is Tajiri in the lowrider? Apparently Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri are the tag team champions, and they're on Piper's Pit. By the way, in case you are wondering how half-assed this team was thrown together, the entrance video still just has Eddie and Chavo. And the equally pointless Tajiri Rhino tag team is right around the corner. Piper seems to have a multicultural table set up, complete with sushi and tacos. Piper asks if his boy Sean O'Haire can hold one of the tag titles, since he'll be a future champion someday. Eddie says the only thing O'Haire can hold is his maracas. Tajiri, on the other hand, really wants that sushi. When O'Haire refuses to give the title back, Piper tries to calm the situation by suggesting everyone have a drink, because we all know alcohol makes people less likely to fight. Tajiri agrees and takes some of the nameless adult beverage, and it looks like it's all good in the neighborhood. But then Tajiri hits the mist with the booze. Eddie whacks O'Haire with the title, and that'll do it for this edition of Piper's Pit. Chavo was out with a bicep injury, and it's extremely bizarre that they just kept the lie, cheat, and steal gimmick but threw Tajiri in. This would have been a pretty nothing segment, but I have to admit I applauded right there in my living room when Tajiri hit the alcoholic mist. Tori Wilson is our special guest ring announcer. Okay, place your bets now if you think Tori Wilson is a great ring announcer or...
The following contest has been scheduled for a one fall.
Not. I'll let you be the judge. A-Train comes out to the standard shave your back chants, and his opponent has the best buns in the biz in Tori Wilson's humble opinion. It's Billy Gunn. This is Gunn's return from an 8-month injury, so he gets a decent pop as he puts that ass to work. So Tori sits there, and I think she's supposed to be smitten with Billy Gunn, but she forgets to react when stuff like this happens. Hard-hitting clothesline from Gunn. Hard-hitting bicycle kick from A-Train. Gunn gets up, hits the Famouser, and gets the pin. Okay, not much of a return match. But Billy's truly living the dream. He's standing there minding his own business when a beautiful woman offers for him to touch her in the ass. Then they leave together, presumably to go... So, I guess Tori just walked into Stephanie McMahon's office and said, "Hey, make me a ring announcer so I can get laid." And Billy's been gone so long, so when exactly did Tori decide she'd fallen deeply in love with his ass? It's a underwhelming return for
Billy Gunn!
The full-blooded Italians have done it now. They've gone and made a big mistake, and Undertaker can't allow for them to think they can just walk away. A cheap shot is how the Undertaker comes out to get some payback against the FBI. Tonight's Smackdown brought to us by Microsoft XP. That's a quality operating system. Ah, but they ruined it. This movie sucked. Undertaker easily beating down Johnny the Bull, then thinks it'll be funny to casually beat up the rest of the crew. Taz is right when he says it's like a handicap match, but the FBI have the handicap. Finally, Chuck Palumbo puts a stop to the madness with a super kick, and Michael Cole feels the need to tell us that The Undertaker just got whacked. You know, because they're Italian. Bull in charge for a while with a sweet vertical suplex. There's just something about this spot that you just know it won't end well. Man, look how red Undertaker's hair is. I wonder how long that lasted. Love this spot where Taker is going chokeslam, but first throws the bull into Palumbo, then hits the last ride. Undertaker wins. The FBI attempts a post-match beatdown, but instead Columbo's sleeping with the fishes, wearing the cement shoes, 23 skidoo. G-Men are gonna... I was just about to start bitching that there's no reason for Undertaker to slaughter the FBI like this, because it does no one any favors. Then Nunzio does me a solid by blasting Undertaker with a chair. So to my surprise, the FBI actually stands strong in the end. This was actually booked well. Undertaker wins and looks dominant, but the 3-on-1 proves just slightly too much. Mr. America gives Zach Gowen a pep talk. He's about to go one-on-one with Vince McMahon in an arm wrestling match. If Gowen wins, he gets a WWE contract. Don't worry about the fact that he's already appearing on Smackdown every week. General Manager Stephanie McMahon comes out and says she thought it necessary for the GM of Smackdown to oversee the arm wrestling match. I guess since Steph came out for no reason, Sable figures she might as well too. Steph hits Sable with a modified "it doesn't matter."
How can I help you? Well, Stephanie, Never mind.
Then she introduces Mr. America and Zach Gowen. Vince comes out looking ripped, and Zach's looking nervous. Mr. America steps up and challenges Vince to an arm wrestling contest before the one with Zach Gowen. Vince agrees, but only if Mr. America leaves the area if he loses. So the contest begins, and Sable flashes the goods to provide the distraction. Vince wins. Mr. America is required to leave, and for some reason Stephanie and Sable leave too. So they begin the arm wrestling match, and much to my surprise, Zach's winning. Until a blatant kick from under the table. Vince wins, but he's randomly bleeding for some reason. He asks Zach if he's going to cry. Then he calls him a freak, because he has one leg. The crowd starts a very appropriate asshole chant, and you're just waiting for a good guy to run in and tell Vince off. But instead, Zach just leaves while Vince hobbles around pretending to be crippled, and yep, we just spent 17 actual minutes watching 2 arm wrestling matches. Here's Chris Benoit and Rhino. Are there any actual tag teams right now instead of just 2 singles wrestlers that got randomly thrown together? I shouldn't have complained. Here's the Bashams. The announcer seemed surprised to see Tough Enough winner Linda Miles with them and calling herself Shaniqua. So I guess this is her first appearance with that gimmick. Rhino starts off hot against Doug Basham. Michael Cole says, "You know what, I'll tell you, I've been impressed with these Bashams." Shut up, Cole, no you haven't. Rhino makes the only tag of the match. That's right, the Bashams never even bother to tag each other. It's in the name, guys, tag team. But Danny just comes out anyway. The announcers make a great big deal about this Shaniqua leg grab that does absolutely nothing. The referee loses control and Rhino accidentally clocks Benoit in the face. Danny hits whatever move and gets the pin. This is apparently the second week in a row Rhino and Benoit lost a match because Rhino accidentally hit Benoit in the face. That's pretty clumsy. The problem with the Shaniqua gimmick is that it's Shaniqua's gimmick. It's not the Basham's gimmick. And it doesn't exactly make them seem tough being the gimps of Shaniqua or whatever they're supposed to be. And I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone because this entire match, the announcers are going on about how great the Bashams look. They're getting their asses kicked. And they don't even know how to tag. Don't pee on my shoes and tell me it's raining. But as bad as they look, the biggest doofus of all is Rhino for punching out his own partner 2 weeks in a row. John Cena's here and he's facing Funaki without an entrance. Cena says he's too ghetto for merchandise. That's gonna change real soon, buddy. They have a rap battle where Cena accuses Funaki of having camel toe. I love the idea of Funaki rapping, but unfortunately he just does the overplayed UGLY, you ain't got no alibi. Bleh. Cena hits the FU and Taz makes fun of Funaki's accent. Kurt Angle had neck surgery after WrestleMania and just returned from it last week. Even though he's returned as a babyface, these idiot fans are doing the what chant as he talks. Angle calls out Team Angle for a team meeting. He confronts them both for calling in sick last week when he returned to SmackDown. Shelton Benjamin assures Angle that they were sick of being in Kurt Angle's shadow. Ooh, got him. Angle calls them crybabies and reminds them that they're supposed to be Team Angle, not Team Wangle. That's a great job, writers. Charlie Haas says he's tired of the fans chanting, "You suck" at them every week. Engle says the fans chant, "You suck" at Engle because he earned it from 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears. It's always really cringy watching babyface Engle struggle to explain that actually, he loves the "You suck" chants. Engle fires them both from Team Engle, and I do love how genuinely upset Charlie and Shelton get from being kicked off a team they didn't want to be on anyway. We come back from commercial, and the wrestlers formerly known as Team Engle beat up Engle backstage. It's no secret that Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin aren't the most convincing on the mic, but Kurt Angle's usually gold, and he just wasn't. Well, it's the Big Show, and the main event. Here comes the pain as Michael Cole tells us that Big Show has 2 pinfall victories over the champion. Taz says Show might have Brock's number. Which is announcer speak for Big Show will not win this match. It's not a Big Show match unless you get some big chops. Low Bridge sends Big Show outside, but Brock isn't in charge long before he's thrown into the steps. Big Show locks in the most awkward-ass half Boston Crab I ever did see. Big German suplex on the Big Show, but he can't lift the big man for the F5. Big leg drop. Look at the sell from Lesnar. Show hits the choke slam and goes for the pin. Taz says he's got it, which is announcer speak for he doesn't got it. Big Show wants another choke slam, but this time off the turnbuckle. Lesnar says nay and battles back, and we get the superplex heard around the world. Look at that ring, look at that crowd. That's all you need to know. This was executed perfectly, and props to referee Mike Chioda for selling it so beautifully too. The fans launch into one of the most justified holy shit chants of all time as the paramedics come out to check on Lesnar and Big Show. It's a no contest, sure, but what a no contest. This is better than if Lesnar or Big Show had won, and it made the rivalry look like 2 kaiju monsters clashing with collateral damage galore. This is what WWE has always done best. This was spectacle. It's ironic that one of the most iconic moments of all time is attached to an almost comically forgettable episode. Go back and watch that superplex. You don't even really need to see the full match. This is an hour and a half with about 10 seconds worth watching, but it's a hell of a 10 seconds.
It's a big show. It's a big show tonight.